There's that one. And
Bo?
When life is but a torture, welcome to Smiley's Corner. Yeah!
welcome to Smiley's Corner. My name's Smiley. We are gathered here today with my good friend John.
What's up?
Do I need to adjust that? Like I made a joke about it last week. The whole
We are gathered here
Yeah.
today. It does kind of sound. I kind of like it, but actually, it seems funnier now because it's just the two of us. It's like just. I almost feel like you're giving me a like a grand entrance kind of thing. Like,
Behold, it's John.
yeah, it's like. Here are his film credits and his fucking actor. I was gonna say acting credits. Just film credits and like, behold, Jerry Seinfeld. Behold, maybe not behold. I don't think an MC has ever introduced a comedian or an actor or anybody like. Watch the Golden Globes. Behold, it's Natalie Portman and
What do they say?
Tom Jane.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce, or what do they say?
I'd like to introduce you to.
Oh, please give a warm welcome.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the. Les Claypool did a really good intro for Brian Mantilla, the drummer, former drummer. I think it was just a. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce to you the man, the myth, the pseudo-Mexican, Brian. And then he went into his fucking John Bonham-esque drum solo.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Speaking of the Golden Globes, have you seen a clip from this movie called Marriage Story?
Oh, the Adam Driver,
Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah, I saw the trailer, but I haven't seen like any clips from it.
Man, there's a one particular scene where they're yelling at each other. And, I don't know, it's really weird because, people were hating on it hardcore. Like,
Really?
God, this is awful. And, it's kind of weird because I saw it with the context of knowing that people hated it, but I feel like if I wouldn't have, I'd been like, that's really good performances.
Oh.
But everyone was like, those are not good performances at all. And I'm like, I don't know. They're yelling, they're crying. And
I wish I could remember what else. Oh, yeah, that's right. So he's got like the trifecta. He's doing Netflix. He has that.
Okay.
He has the, I can't remember what it's called. It's like the something report. It's like the censored report. Like it has like a blacked out thing.
What do you mean he's doing that?
He's doing a movie. Like it's
Oh.
called the Blank Report. It's
I
on
know.
Amazon,
Oh.
and he has Star Wars about to come out.
Star Wars. I think it's already.
Is it out already?
Well, I think it comes out the 20th, but I've already seen a lot of reviews and stuff online. It seems very lukewarm to hate.
Well, all those people like get screeners and stuff, didn't they? Probably.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, very lukewarm to hate. Granted, I think it seems on social media I follow a big collection of people that hate Disney Star Wars, so that might be why I'm seeing it that way. But I don't know. I like try to. I kind of I feel like I watched. I don't know if it's in a vacuum or the opposite of in a vacuum, but I feel like when I watched The Force Awakens, I had my own opinions about it. And, like, wasn't crazy about it, but for certain things. But, like, I've noticed through the whole Trump and wokeness and strong females and diversity, like, everything's now kind of put through that lens, and I wish it wasn't. Like,
Yeah.
And it's not like I watch it and think that. It's just that I know there's so many people that do that now I'm, like, hyper aware of it, and I'm like, it makes me judge it differently. And I wish I could go back to 2015 where I was just watching the movie and thinking like, oh, I'm not really crazy about it. It's not the worst thing ever or anything. But, you know, people are like, I don't know. I feel like it just kind of like skews people's judgment of stuff a little bit. They're like, anytime, like I've seen like The Mandalorian's hugely popular. And apparently there was one episode that had Gina Carano. And some people were complaining that like, oh, so this lady just shows up and kicks the Mandalorian's ass. And it's like, well, I mean, like, she's Gina fucking Carano.
Yeah.
Like, at least, on the one hand, you should at least be happy that, like, A, they didn't get this, 100-pound weakling that, like, suddenly has superpowers and can kick the shit out of everybody. Like, it's at least believable, first of all. And it's just kind of like, I feel like they start looking at things to where it's like, I don't want to judge them and say like, oh, you're just scared of strong women, because I don't think that's the case. But like now, anytime they see a woman do anything remotely like strong or powerful, they're gonna be like, oh, they just threw that in there to fucking totally unbelievable.
Yeah,
and
it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy kind of thing.
Yeah, like you're gonna see what you've already like.
They've like taken the conspiracy into reality. Like
yeah,
they've like created their own reality based on a conspiracy. I mean, I'm sure some of it they might go a little overboard just because everybody has ulterior motives when it comes to media, but I don't know. I don't think it's all bad.
Yeah, and I think there is like a deliberate, I think there's definitely a deliberate choice, especially like with diversity and everything. Like I know for a fact that people like want more diversity and want like certain groups represented, and
right.
I understand that and everything. But like sometimes I don't know. It's just like if I watched. I'm just thinking of like if Alien came out in 2019, would people be like, "Oh yeah, we're supposed to believe that fucking Sigourney Weaver is the only one that can survive?" And it's like, but back then it was like no one seemed to have a fucking problem with it. They're just like, "Oh, it's a cool movie."
Yeah.
And a lot of those same people would argue that like, "Yeah, it's still a cool movie. That they did it right." And I'm like, "Well, fucking." There's such a fine line with you about like how to do it right and wrong that I don't know. That's like the Gina Carano thing. It just bugged me because I'm like. I get it if you don't like Brie Larson, you find her annoying and that unbelievable, but like Gina Carano, like she's an MMA fighter, like they got someone who has a physical presence, and like I don't know, it just kind of sucks because it's kind of weird because I identify with them because I'm like, yeah, I didn't care for it either, but I'm like, oh, I didn't even consider all these like. Yeah, I didn't like that she was just overpowered and blah, blah, and I'm just like, oh, I didn't even think of that stuff. I was just kind of like, I just didn't really like how they treated a lot of the original trilogy characters and stuff. But I don't know. It kind of sucks, man. I wish I could just go back to blank slate John, like ignorance is bliss kind of stuff.
Men in Black thing.
Yeah, and I mean, I probably could do that if I just left social media and stuff, but, I like it. I like parts of it, I guess. Not all of it, but...
Twitter is a kind of a fucked up place to be.
Yeah. I mean, it gives me a lot of laughs and a lot of, like, head scratches, I guess, at the same time and stuff. And I try not to interact too much. I've done it a few times, and I think the one time I got into an argument, I think we kind of came together. Like, it started off us on either side, and then it, like, kept going. But that's when I realized, and that was the one time that happened. And it was, like, over the course of, like, probably an hour, like, going back and forth and stuff. And it ended up pretty much being resolved and, like, okay, it wasn't like we just, like, I don't know, fucking owned each other or anything like that. It was fine, but I'm just like, man, I don't know how people do this on a daily basis and, like, multiple times a day because I'm like, I just can't.
Yeah, it seems exhausting.
Yeah, that's a lot of waste of time and energy to, like, spend, like, arguing with strangers about, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's whatever. Sorry, man. Get fucking Star Wars Adam Driver. All right. It does kind of suck because I feel like it's the same thing with the prequels and stuff. Like, I know people hate Hayden, but it's like, dude, I had Natalie Portman, Ewan McGregor, but like they just didn't shine in those movies. And I feel like Adam Driver's a great actor. I've seen him in other stuff that I like. Yeah. I don't even hate him in these movies. I just I blame the movies, not the cast. That would be perfect example for DC films. Like Henry Cavill is a better Superman than Christopher Reeve. I said it. Now, the writing of it, the portrayal of it, not, but he was given a bad movie. He's perfect for the role. Yeah. Kind of the same thing with Ben Affleck. He's a perfect for the role, but just not.
Did we already talk about
really the portrayal I wanted to see?
Brandon Routh coming to the CW.
Yeah, I heard they already came back. A guy at work was asking about that. Do you watch the Arrow or any of that stuff? Apparently, what's funny is he told me that they killed Arrow, and Arrow's going to be replaced by a woman. I don't know that much about the Green Arrow. It kind of bugs me that they call it Arrow. I'm like, why don't you just call him Green Arrow? Like, I don't understand why you can't do that. Like, they just try to, I don't know. I feel like they're like fucking lean into it, man. Don't like the audience like, oh, we're scared they're gonna not like it if it's.
Well, I think they
like
were
too comic booky.
I'm not sure.
Like, fuck off.
Was Arrow the first big one that they had, like whenever they did that whole like kind of DC television
I think
thing?
that's what launched out. I think it went Arrow, then Supergirl, or Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, and now there's like a Defenders, I think, and there's apparently a big crossover. That's what
I think
Brandon Routh is. The Kingdom Come Superman, I believe.
Everything that I saw about it, it looked like the way that it was branded was almost like, oh, this is like a CW show, but as a superhero. Like even the look of it, like just like if you see like an ad, it's just like, oh, it looks like a fucking soap opera with superheroes.
It looks. I mean, it's weird. I don't know how they do that. Like how. Isn't it weird that CW like has a brand, and it just kind of like carries over into all their shows? Like I feel like HBO shows, it's like you can't always really distinguish if it's HBO or not. You might not know, but I feel like when you see a when you see a CW show, like you know it's a CW show.
If it's like a camera filter thing or
I know what you're saying.
Because CBS kind of has a look. ABC has kind of a look to their shows, like.
That's very true. You know, funny, CBS, yeah, definitely. It's very weird. I don't know how that happens. I'm not into film or television, so I guess I wouldn't know, but well.
But it is true. All the big like cable channels like Showtime, HBO, even like the Cinemax shows and stuff. They look more like movie like. But they don't really look like any particular, like a specific brand.
Because there are definitely certain people that you see. I wouldn't say you can necessarily distinguish always, but like Coen brothers, especially recent ones, have like a certain look. Like kind of Tarantino's have certain looks and stuff. But like it's weird for an entire network to have like
they use the same cameras.
A look to their show. Yeah, I just feel like it's like the same set, and they just like bust people in. They're like, all right, now we're gonna start filming Supergirl or whatever. I guess are those the only shows they have on CW now? Just fucking DC superhero stuff. I feel
like they still had. Isn't that Pretty Little Liars thing still on there? And
I don't even know what that is, man.
I think there's still like a few of those like girly shows. I don't mean
Gilmore Girls, Gossip Girl. Were those even on CW?
I don't think Gilmore Girls was like pre-CW. That was like the WB, but I think that's what CW became.
It's like a weird market. They've definitely cornered that. I feel like it's. What's funny is I was gonna say teenager, but I feel like people are in Arrested Development, if you could say, and I feel like that demographic has. It's like the same demographic, but like 5 to 10 years older now. It's like the same fucking people that used to watch Buffy are now watching this. I'm like, I mean, I bought comic books 4 days ago, so I can't really like shit on these people. But it's just kind of like, man, grow up, dude.
I do know like a lot of younger people do enjoy those shows because I hear people working stuff talk about them, and they're like in their 20s.
Yeah, and that's But I mean, 20s. I feel like I don't feel like 20-somethings were watching Buffy. I feel like they're 20-something to 30-something now, but well, maybe I don't even know how long Buffy's been off the air, but I'm pretty sure they're redoing that.
Yeah,
I heard
they have to reboot it.
Yeah, there's gonna be a Disney Plus reboot of something, and I wish I could remember what it was. But I know they're doing The Matrix, obviously, and Bill and Ted, and Simpsons is on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Because Disney bought Fox, so now they have. Man, that kind of sucks. That's more intriguing to me than The Mandalorian.
I was talking about because I found. Did you ever watch Perfect Strangers?
No. I'm trying to think of the guys that are in it. Do you know their names?
I can't remember the main guy. Like, cause it's a guy that just like lives in Chicago. He has like an apartment.
Okay.
And his cousin shows up, and he's like some obscure like Greek island.
It's gonna sound really bad, but like I know the actor, I know his face, and I couldn't...
it's Bronson Pinchot.
Yes, yeah. That's right. But I couldn't distinguish. I know it's gonna sound really bad, but the first thing I thought was Indian, but I'm like, I don't think he's Indian.
No.
I don't know what the fuck he is, but I know that other curly-haired guy. Because I haven't seen, those guys kind of... I just remember that Bronson guy from that and Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah.
Was he in all of them or just... I know he's in number 3.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, how many Beverly Hills Cops, but I think he popped up in quite a few 80s movies because I think he was just one of those guys. He was like a really good character actor.
Eddie Murphy's hosting.
It's SNL.
Yeah.
Looks like he was in the first Beverly Hills Cop. He's also in The Langoliers.
No, look at that.
Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Bronson. I wonder if he's related to that author, that penchant author. Can't remember his first name.
He was on Step by Step.
Step by step.
And he's on the new
day
Sabrina.
Day by day.
The new Sabrina show.
Oh, that kind of makes sense. Wait, what do you mean new?
I think it's on Netflix. The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Oh my God. Wait. So this is like new episodes right now. No Melissa Joan Hart.
No.
No.
I don't know if she makes like a cameo or anything, but yeah, it's Netflix.
No mildly attractive. I wouldn't say she's attractive old lady. And then Caroline Ray. I don't know what happened to that lady either.
I don't know. Kind of wonder, wasn't she like a comedian?
Yeah, it's really weird how it totally makes sense to me. Like, Everybody Loves Raymond. He does stand-up about family stuff. He gets a sitcom that's named after him about what he talks about. The same thing with Tim Allen.
Yeah.
Fucking Seinfeld. But, like, how the fuck does Bob Saget get into Full House? How does Caroline Ray get into fucking... I'm pretty sure none of her comedy has anything to do with, like... I don't know. Maybe it is family-oriented. I remember being kind of... I think that's when I found out when she was on Curb Your Enthusiasm. A few episodes and stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. I'm like, wait, she knows all these people? She's, like, in the circle and stuff? But, yeah, she's a comedian. I've never seen any of her comedy, but I don't know that it talks about families. I still don't understand how... Bob Saget got on Full House.
I don't know. I think a lot of that stuff. I mean, I'm sure it was different in the '80s.
Yeah.
But I think now it's just like if you have a good agent, they're gonna. And if you want, like, if you're curious about doing acting stuff, like we just watched a little bit of Dan Soder getting interviewed. He's on Billions. Like,
I don't even know what that show is.
It's all about like those.
Is he a recurring character?
Yeah.
Oh. All right.
He's not like a major cast player, but I think like they keep pushing him. Like as the seasons have gone on, he gets like more and more like high profile. Like I think they did a whole episode about him.
Oh.
But
Billions.
It's I can't remember what all that.
Is it a Silicon Valley thing?
No, it's like I want to say they're in the Northeast, but it's basically like you have those guys that they manage your money or whatever, your stocks and bonds and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But they're like doing like shady like deals, but it's like on like a high level. We're talking like that's why it's called Billions, because they're talking like large sums of money. And then you have the government powers, which Paul Giamatti is like the main guy, and he's trying to catch them slipping up. So like you see him like gradually like taking people down like one at a time. And like trying to get closer to the main guy. But he's like untouchable.
Does the main guy have an island with underage women on it?
I don't think it's that crazy, but he does do like ridiculous stuff. I'm trying to remember. I watched one episode where he wanted what is it? He wanted to like buy. He was trying to like this family was trying to save their estate or whatever. I can't remember what it was. It was some kind of like historical manor or some shit. And they said that they would only sign the deal if he would leave their name on it. And just out of spite, he like bought the whole thing out, and I think he had something else over their head so they couldn't do anything about it. And he took the statue with like their great grandfather down and like scrubbed their name off of the thing just because their dad did something shitty to him like 20 years prior.
Wow, dude. Petty spite. What channel is this on?
It's on Showtime.
Oh, okay. I've heard of it, but I never knew. All I can think is anytime I hear that word, I just think of Donald Trump saying it, like billions. I don't even know if he has said it. Maybe I'm just picturing him saying it, and I can't do the impression, as we probably found out.
China.
Yeah. There's like a few words you got to take to get into them, and I feel like that's one of them, but I can't. Yeah, I've tried it, and every time I feel like I can give me 10 minutes, I can work into it, but I can't just like boom, billions. See, that's not like him at all. China.
We are the greatest. We have
Yeah.
the greatest.
Big Water was a really funny one. I think I can't even remember what he was talking about with that, but yeah, Big Water. That was a great quote. I remember George Bush had a. Actually, I'm almost positive Donald Trump has one too, but I remember George Bush had a calendar that was just like dumb shit that it would say, like a daily thing, and it wasn't like it was like, stuff like the whole strategery thing, which is funny because I don't think he ever said that. I think that's based on an SNL skit. I don't think he actually ever said that, but there were certain stuff like
Will
that
Ferrell
or whatever.
got into somebody's head.
Yeah, because there was saw one. I don't remember what it was, but actually it might have been like a countdown to impeachment, which is funny because it was a calendar. I saw it like Books a Million, which I just thought was like, that's so weird that like they carry this. I understand like a lot of people don't like them, but it's just weird that like. Man, a whole company like made a whole shit ton of these calendars, and like Books a Million is carrying them. That's so weird to me. It's like, I don't know.
Should we talk about impeachment stuff? I haven't even I tried to look at it earlier, but I can't. All that shit fucking.
I'm assuming it's going through.
I'm just
gonna. I was gonna say keep my ear to the ground and find out, but clearly I'm doing the opposite of that by not really knowing exactly what's going on and stuff. I just know it's a very long, drawn-out process, which, I don't know. I think that, I was actually talking to somebody about that this weekend, about, like usually I hate all the red tape, bureaucracy, blah, blah, blah. But, like, that's why I'm kind of hopeful that the country won't go into shambles or anything like everyone's so worried about, just because there's so much red tape and it's such an arduous process that, like, I don't... Like, and granted, people say, like, well, it doesn't happen overnight, Nazi Germany. And it's like, well, okay, I don't know if we're in that same position, but I don't know. Some people think we are, but I just feel like there's so much red tape that it's like, you can't.
Yeah.
It's almost like, I don't want to say foolproof, because obviously there's a lot of things slip through the cracks, but it's just so hard to make things go bad so quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all. That's John's political minute. It's very vague.
Who knows?
But I did. Speaking of this weekend too, I heard a very funny story. A friend who shall remain nameless as of right now because it concerns their job, but they had to fire somebody because they were taking pictures, not dick pics, but just ball pics, and sending them to female coworkers.
Oh, Jesus!
And he got found out because apparently he has these very easily identifiable teal Adidas running shoes, I guess, that were seen in one of the photos.
What kind of fucking jokester is this? Like,
I don't know. It's
how do you take a nut shot and have any kind of incriminating evidence?
Apparently, he was married with children, and from what I understand, I think I never got the full explanation. Actually, I don't even know if I asked for it, but I guess the cock was in the hand.
Oh.
Maybe. And we were just trying to figure out why the balls. I just don't understand the balls.
It's like that Dave Chappelle skit. Look at these balls; they're smooth as eggs.
But I was we were trying to break it down because it's apparently there were several women that I guess because I think I don't know about several. I think it was more than 3. So several women I guess had this happen to them, and a lot of other women came forward and said yeah, he kind of reached out to me on the first day. He didn't send him ball pics or anything, but it just kind of sucks because all this Me Too movement and everything, and you're thinking man, things aren't as awful as they are. People are just kind of maybe overreacting to situations that they misread. But then you hear this and you're like, oh fuck yeah, it's
there really are pieces of garbage.
Actually, Twitter is a good example of that. I see DMs that women share, and all the times I'm just good God, man, fucking, it's just that's so bizarre to me. But I was trying to put myself in the mindset of a ball picker. And I think because it would sounded like he'd basically butter up these women or whatever. I don't know if necessarily flirt with them, but basically enough to get into contact with them and get their phone number and be friendly and whatnot and stuff. And then he would he'd want a picture of like their socks or something that they were wearing, and then I know there was something about panties or whatever. And it was funny because at first it was like we thought it was weird because it's like, why would he want a picture of socks? Like, such a weird fetish. And I'm thinking like, he probably doesn't care about the socks. He's just, that's a starting point
lead up
to work towards something else. So once I realized that, I'm thinking, oh, well, maybe the balls, like, he doesn't have a thing about balls, and these women probably don't have any sort of infatuation with balls, or at least not his. But maybe that's working. It's like, dude, don't send a dick pic. What you do,
you send your
you
nuts.
just send a picture of your balls, and then they're like, whoa, like what you got connected to them balls, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, why don't you take that hand off that cock? Let me see that. I'm trying to put myself in the mindset of like
I don't
really
think
trying to
that works
work out.
on anyone ever.
Anyone ever? He is married.
Well,
Now, that's not to say that he did that. I don't know how long he's been married. I don't know how old this guy is or anything. So, but there's 7 billion people on planet Earth, Smiley. I think it works.
yeah.
What's funny is you never hear about. It sounds like I'm defending it. I'm not. I'm not defending it. But I guarantee you, like, dick pics are sometimes like, oh, it's pretty awesome. I got a picture of his dick. It's pretty cool. I'm glad I have that now. But for the most part, 99.9% of women definitely don't. Definitely a woman you're not in a relationship with, because I've known couples that have done that. I've known personally a married couple that I know exchange pictures back and forth, like since they've been married and stuff. Which I kind of thought was like, oh, that's kind of nice. Like, I don't know why I thought that was like a weirdly romantic kind of like, you're married, you have kids, and you guys still send naughty pictures to each other and stuff. So it's, but definitely, I mean, I don't know. Definitely, I just don't, that's just crazy to like, to not be in the relationship and show that to them. Like, I would want the first time the girl to see my dick or balls to be, when we're being intimate. I wouldn't want to see it beforehand.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want her to see it beforehand. Like, that just seems weird. Like,
Yeah,
I remember the first time I saw your dick, you sent it to me. April 13th.
I can't remember, or I can't really understand why people, like, I can't wrap my mind around, like, thinking that was, like, a good move.
I know. I want to talk to, like, serial dick pickers. Because I feel like...
Well, I think if you're anonymous... Like, it's easy to just spam dicks all day long.
Well, that is true. But I feel like if you're anonymous, too, you can't really, like... Well, I mean, I guess eventually if, like, they like the dick that they see, maybe then you get into contact and stuff. But that, if you're anonymous, I'm like, well, that doesn't really, like... You're not getting anywhere with that if you're anonymous. Like,
well, I'm saying, like, on, like, like a Tinder or something like that. Like, they don't really know you. They just know...
Oh, that's true.
They just see, like, Dave, 35, and, like... They'll see... I guess they see your... face or whatever, but they don't really know who you are unless they're like, I don't know, some kind of like crazy hacker, and they like do like a reverse image search and find out that your profile picture is your Facebook picture, and like, oh, Dave lives in Michigan and he has 3 kids and he's married and he's a piece of shit. Like, oh, and he works at this place. I'm gonna blow his fucking ass up.
Yeah, you're canceled, bro. But I kind of wonder if I just want to, I feel like we should get an avid dick picker on the podcast and be like, yeah, I send 300. Guess what, guys? 3 of them responded. 3 of them were into it. That's what I'm saying. Like, the percentages are very bad.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's,
Do you really want to talk to a guy that takes pictures of his dick all day long?
Kind of. I mean, it's the same reason people watch, like, serial killer documentaries. Like, I'm not trying to find a way to kill people. Yeah. I'm not trying to, like, feel sorry for the serial killer. It's just like, man, it's so fucked up. Like, I got to know the psychology behind that. And, like, why would you do it? And it's like, because I can't think that somebody, and I'm talking serial dick picker. I'm not talking about a guy who's like, dude, I've done it 3 times. Worst decision ever. I don't know why I did it. But I know there are people out there that do it a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you have a 0% success rate, you should probably stop doing that.
I also, like I said, not being able to wrap my mind around, like, just why that would be a good idea. But I also, like, think, like, worst case scenario.
Oh, yeah. That's the first thing, I think.
Because I just saw a thing on Reddit about a guy who had really bad hemorrhoids.
Mm-hmm.
and he was like having troubles in the bathroom, so he took his phone and took a picture of his asshole to show to his doctor, and he accidentally sent it to his boss. He worked for like a security company, and they had to do an overnight shift like shortly thereafter because he explained it to his boss. He was embarrassed, but he just had to like, this is why I sent you a picture of a bloody asshole.
Yeah.
And then he quit because he was going to have to sit in the same spot with this guy for like 10 hours. And he didn't want to deal with it.
So he just couldn't face the guy. He wasn't even fired or anything. He just
Right.
couldn't face the guy.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. You know, it's funny you say that because just last night, it was my sister-in-law's birthday. And I think I sent her a happy birthday GIF. And she sent back like a woman getting a tiara put on her head.
Yeah.
And I sent her back a eye-rolling one. And then she sent me a, I think it's Kristen Bell. I think, but she like
Veronica Mars.
undoes her finger, her middle finger, like she's doing lipstick, and then like puts it on her fucking lips or whatever. And then I was trying to search for one with the phrase "kiss my ass," but I just sent the text "kiss my ass," and I was like, oh, I didn't mean to send that. I meant the fucking, like, I was searching for a GIF. I didn't realize where I was typing, and I fucked that. Which doesn't really. The point was still made. I even said like, I didn't mean to send that, but oh well, I'll stand by it. Fuck you. I didn't say fuck you, but like, that's not at all on the same thing. But man, that sucks that he had to like quit just because you couldn't. Man, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if I could.
But he's actually asking for the internet's opinion about like what he did, because it's a whole it's a subreddit called "Am I the Asshole?" And he wanted to.
Funny that he sent the asshole.
Wanted to see if people thought he was a dick for just like quitting like that, based on the circumstances.
God, that would be weird though if the boss is like begging you not to quit, and you're just like, oh, this is so weird that we're having this conversation over my bloody asshole that I sent you. I hope he got the hemorrhoid taken care of. God, that would really. I worry about that sometimes, sending the wrong text, but like I don't really think there's a lot. There's definitely text that could go to the wrong people. And not like I'm talking bad about them and they see it. It's more of just like, oh, I said something really awful. Just in general. And like it could be sending it to the, if my mom saw some of the stuff in the text threads with some friends of ours, she probably wouldn't appreciate that. So, but it's not like I'm speaking ill of her or even anyone we know or anything. It's usually just
offensive in general.
Yeah, and that would be a long explanation. And it's really funny whenever I feel like that would happen, because I feel like, not that she would make me promise, but it's so funny that like people, it's like people that have even like in recent like history and stuff been like quote unquote canceled or like gotten in trouble for like, say we're having a private conversation, even though this is not private. Like we have a private conversation, it gets someone else is recording it in the room, and then it gets blasted out, and then it's like, oh, I got to apologize, promise to never do it again. And it's like, when you think about it, like, could just not record the conversation. Like, it's like I have to promise to never do that thing that you didn't know I was doing.
Yeah.
I got to promise never to do that in private ever again. And if you find out I'm doing it in private, well, joke's on me, I guess, even though like someone's airing out all this horrible stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't do any horrible stuff. Now I'm like, I feel like I'm asking for people to like hack my phone to see the awful things I say or record me. I'm sure I've said awful stuff on here, so.
Yeah, I think we've all said awful stuff.
I like how you're just like, yeah. So you want to get into a little
What do you want to talk about?
slapping action? Slapping action? For those of the listeners listening at home, apparently, I believe it's Russian, correct? It's big in Russia.
Yeah, I saw that they do them over here. I saw like I think it might have been even sponsored by like some beer company or something.
Oh, wow.
But it was at a bar. It was kind of hilarious. Like they basically had a stage set up, and then it was like a multi-tier thing with like balconies and stuff. But there were all these people just sitting there like yelling and like screaming at these two dudes. Like, I think one of them was a bouncer and the other one was like a bartender or something.
Oh, wow. So they like worked at the bar that they were doing this at?
So.
Did the this doesn't have any relation to the pro wrestling we saw Ken Shamrock do at a bar, does it?
I don't think so.
Remember that? I forgot all about that until you brought up this happening at a bar. But Ken Shamrock, pro wrestling at a man, oh man, how far they have fallen. God, so crazy. Ken Shamrock.
Yeah.
Just get a regular job, man. I don't know how that.
But I think these guys, I'm not really sure where they do these things at, but sorry, this is an ad for some kind of human
like
growth hormone,
okay.
so you can get jacked.
I was kind of confused. I'm like, so do these guys have to do all this powder and fucking inject all this stuff?
Well,
But
there is one of
what
these.
is exactly? Is it called just slap? Slap championship? Is that just? I mean, it's not like.
Well, this says Generation Iron. I think they're all just like they all kind of. It's like there's lots of like little upstart ones.
Mm-hmm.
This one just says Russian Slap Championship Siberian Power Show.
Yeah, but it's basically for those of you listening. It's basically just two guys at a table, and they're slapping each other, and somehow one wins and the other one doesn't.
Well, it's basically if you either tap out or you cannot continue. Like if they deem you like unsuitable. Like this guy looks like he's kind of like why can't I do it?
A little wobbly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's always funny to see people get knocked out, and then they're like, "Wait, what's wrong?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's weird to me that like you can't walk, like you're stumbling, and why are you asking what's wrong?
It makes me laugh too because they have like I'm guessing it's like ammonia or smelling salts or something.
Yeah.
But some of them will do it like some of them will get like cracked real good, but they want to keep going, so they'll put that shit under their nose.
Dude, I've been watching a lot of. Not so much recently. I was on a big kick for a while, watching like strongman competitions, and they're big on smelling salts and stuff. Just like doing deadlift, dude. They're walking up to it and fucking Hafthor Bjornsson, fucking whatever the hell his name is from fucking what's that show? Game of Thrones. What the hell is his name?
Oh, the Mountain.
Yeah. That dude's big on that stuff. And right now we're watching what looks to be a 300-pound man
fighting like a 170-pound
yeah.
man. Well, I say fighting, they're slapping each other.
Yeah, they're just. I mean, it's just people just taking turns slapping. That's all it is. And but it gets pretty intense. It's just kind of a bizarre martial art because. I mean, I don't know that I should call it a martial art, but like, I mean, just imagine. I mean, people have probably. You know what's funny is I've been in a situation where this exact thing has happened.
Oh
Maybe
yeah,
not,
yeah.
Maybe not going back and forth so much, but there's definitely been like, come on, man, slap me as hard as you can. They always say as hard as you can, and they don't really mean as hard as you can.
I've definitely taken part in many drunken like slapping.
Yeah, that's what I'm. I don't know. People always say that. It's just slap me as hard as you can, but it's like, no, you don't want that. You don't want that.
After watching enough of this stuff, like some of these guys put like cotton in their ears so their eardrums don't get shattered like whenever they get smacked. Because some people aren't very good at slapping, like they don't have control. And the big guy here, Vasily, the former champ, I don't know if it seems like I saw a thing where he got his championship back or whatever. He has a bunch of like awards and stuff, but the kid hit him on the eye. So he got like a hematoma like immediately. His eye just like started swelling up, and they were like, "You can't do that." Like they disqualified him or whatever. But like he's like, "What happened?" He's like, "I'm good." But you literally just
for the record,
out.
Yeah, just for the record, we're not watching professional athletes do this. We're watching what looks like to be bar patrons doing this. Now, granted, it's in a nice facility. Looks like it's like I don't know, almost looks like a fucking airport hangar or something.
Yeah, I think this might be like some kind of convention. It's probably like, I'd imagine it's probably like strongman type stuff.
Yeah, but it looks like we're watching like a 16-year-old in a backwards cap and t-shirt just slap another guy. So it's not really, we're not watching the cream of the crop here. And I would assume that it's kind of the same thing with MMA and like UFC. Like, I always wonder if because like, I think those guys are professional athletes. I think they're elite athletes. But I don't know that they're necessarily on the same level as, like, as far as athleticism with like an NFL or NBA. Not the MLB, but I just don't. So like, I just wonder if someone fucking. Actually, Dwight Howard's a good example because I think Rose Namajunas took a picture with Dwight Howard. And she was just like, I'm really glad NBA players haven't gotten into MMA. And if there was more money, they probably would. But it does kind of make you wonder if guys that are that athletic, like just that genetically superior.
Well, look at Greg Hardy.
That is true. A guy that has little to no experience has done fairly well for himself, like within that. I mean, what's the fucking 50-year-old guy? 50-year-old guy, super Herschel Walker. Yeah, another guy that was very successful in it, and like, so that's what I mean. It's like, yeah, this guy's a champ, but only because like, if fucking Mike Tyson wanted to enter into a slap competition, like he'd probably do okay. Like he'd probably like. So it's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of a weird.
But these guys too. I haven't like checked all the purses that they received, but I want to say one of them was 100,000 rubles, which was approximately like $1,600 or something. Like,
yeah, see, that's not.
That's like too much risk for not very much reward. And sometimes they split it if it's a draw. Like if neither one of them gives up, they're both just like tough as shit.
And that's the winner. Keep in mind, like if first place gets $1,600. And I mean, I already know that I wouldn't do very well at it. I'd probably be out like very quickly, but like, I mean, if it was like a weekend thing, I could understand why people would like partake because they're like, it's 16 extra $100 that I could, it's like I got a day job. It's not like.
Well, I think that,
and I don't know,
the guy that's like the champ or former champ, he's like a farmer. Like,
okay,
they showed behind the scenes and like he's like, I don't tell my mom what I'm doing. I just like go to the city to do these things, but I don't tell her I'm doing like a slap competition because I don't want her to be like scared.
Yeah.
But they just showed him like moving around like a tractor and some hay and feeding pigs and shit. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that's what he does.
And that's the thing too is it's like these guys don't look like great athletes, and I don't know. I'm sure there is a bit of training to it, but that's how you know that like you're not built for it because. Whenever you find out like some ridiculous sport and you're like, oh, everybody on planet Earth could partake in this, what the fuck is the big deal? But even like competitive eating, and you're like, fucking, you just eat a lot, and then you see someone like Kobayashi or fucking Joey Chestnut. Like Kobayashi is like a great example of a guy who works out like daily, like has it down to like a science, and you're like, wow, he's really dedicated to that thing that not a lot of people care about. And that's why I kind of feel about this. It's like, it's slapping and it seems so silly. Like, how can you necessarily train for it? But, like, these people are going to be dedicated to, like, I'm just trying to think of some.
This guy's just, like, country strong. Like,
yeah, he's just, he picks up fucking bags of oats and bales and just,
but they show him later.
Goes to the city and slaps people.
They showed him later. He, like, flipping tractor tires and shit, like, just out in the field somewhere.
Yeah. Wow. It's such a. I mean, it's cool. That makes me feel a little better that. I guess he, quote unquote, has a 9 to 5. I mean, he's a farmer, so that's like more like a fucking dusk till dawn, dawn till dusk. Yeah, you don't work overnight.
But look, you got to see this dude with the synthol arms. You know that shit they inject to make them look like they have muscles.
Oh, synthol arms. Those are what those are called?
I can't remember exactly what the oil is called.
But I've heard about the people that inject oil into their body to make their arms. We watched an MMA fighter who had injected stuff into his body to like. It's like that's not going to give you punching power. You know that, right? Like
look at this guy.
Yeah. And right now, for the folks at home, we're looking at somebody who's probably roughly 170, maybe 180 pounds. He has definitely injected a regular-sized forearms for, a, let's say, 5'10", 6-foot male. Normal forearms, 180 pounds. Gigantic, probably, I'm going to guess, 24-inch pythons that are not natural.
And they've got, like, dimples in them.
Oh, God. Yeah, it looks like picture.
It's like wrinkly.
Yeah, picture like a cellulite back thigh. Like, that's what his biceps look like. And I don't understand that. Like I say, it just doesn't give you power. Like, it's not going to make you lift more. And not only that, why do they insist on just injecting it into the biceps? Like, you're just going to look ridiculous. And for those listening at home, he just got knocked to the floor. His giant biceps.
I'm not
helped
100%
him in no
sure
way,
either.
shape, or form.
But I watched a Russian MMA fight not too long ago, and I think that same guy got his ass kicked in MMA.
Oh, that's the guy I was just talking about then. I was kind of wondering about that. Wow, yeah, dude, don't inject so much oil into your arms. Do you have to wonder, though, whenever he's like, holy shit, dude, my biceps, they do look really big. I could probably inject that some other places, you know what I'm talking about? Oh, that's scary. Man, what's funny is, people have done that. I mean, I don't know that, but shit, dude. Sounding. We talked about sounding on here.
Yeah.
If people are willing to put poles into their fucking dicks, then people will definitely inject shit into their dick to make it bigger.
Do you remember, did you ever see True Life, I'm getting calf implants, or I'm getting plastic surgery or something?
No.
There's this dude, he was like, I can't get my calves to get big. I can get everything else. Like, he was just like some kind of crazy gym rat character.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I can get tone and like definition on everything, but my calves are just have these like silly chicken legs. And they showed him like trying to like work out his leg muscles or whatever, but he did have like really skinny legs. So he went to a plastic surgeon and they put like these gel pack looking things in the back of his calf. Like, just inserted. And after he got it done, he's like, yeah, it looks so good.
Well, how did I mean, there's got to be a better way to do it. I mean, those bodybuilders get, like, abnormally large legs. Like,
well, some of them do. Some of them look kind of silly.
I mean, they do. Like, some of them get so big they look ridiculous. But, like, I'm not saying it's done naturally. Like, I understand they take steroids. But, like, they're not, like, cutting open their leg and putting stuff in there to make it look big. They're at least like, I just figured that would be easier than doing the whole. Actually, I wonder what's healthier, to just get muscles implanted into you by a plastic surgeon.
I don't think that's ever the healthy option. Or do steroids.
Do steroids and just work out for your entire life. Your entire life, like Rich Piana. That guy worked so hard and he just didn't. Never won the gold medal, and he's like, fuck it, man. I'm just going to make money now. Fuck this whole, like... I mean, his whole diet, he was eating, like, fucking 30 times a day and fucking, like, working out for, like, every day straight for, like, a year, and then he went to some competition and placed, like, 7th. And he looked... And that was the thing, too, is I'm looking at the stage, and I'm like, all these guys, like, as far as bodybuilders, like, I don't know what's good or bad, but I'm like, they all look pretty fucking body built to me. Like, they all look kind of first place to me.
Not enough veins.
So, yeah, so I don't know how you determine, like, who's built and who's not. Actually, speaking of that, have you seen this, I'm going to butcher his name, Camille Nunamajami? You'd recognize the actor. I don't know what shows he's on. But he's going to be in the Eternals, the new Marvel thing. Is an Indian actor.
Oh, Kumail.
I don't know how to pronounce this. I know there's some N's, there's a J, there's an M, there's an I.
Nanjiani?
Yeah, talk about a dude. That guy got super ripped for his...
Yeah, he's shredded.
But what's funny is I think when he posted it, he basically like talked about like how much work it was. Like it was like a year's worth of work.
Uh-huh.
That's why you need to be an actor, man. I remember watching Entourage, and the main character, Vince, was having sex with some chick, and, like, I don't know, she said something about, like, it wasn't a position they were in, it was just, like, something about lasting, whenever it's like, oh, yeah, I did this class or this fucking group thing or whatever for a role, and I'm just like, man. Like, you got better at sex than, like, researching for a role? Like, and I'm like, that's insane. But it is kind of weird because it's like, if you, like, we had a very dear friend that would have, like, these different, like, hobbies for, like, just, like, a little points in time and stuff. And I'm like, that's kind of funny. It's like an actor. It's like, hey, what are you into? It's like, oh, car racing. Cool, I'm going to do a car racing movie. And I'm going to get into car racing for, like, 6 months to a year. And then it's like, oh, I'm really into, I don't know, sports like baseball. Oh, I'm going to get into baseball and play. So it's kind of this weird thing where you just get to, like, make pretend on fucking screen, but you're really like, I just it's kind of cool. I can pursue different hobbies and like kind of be a jack of all trades, master of none. But I feel like that's what he did. He's gonna get super fit. I'm just wondering, like, that's what I was saying. That's what I was getting at, because this isn't him doing it, and maybe he devoted some of his own money or whatever. But as far as I understand it, it's basically like he's in a Marvel movie, and once you sign on the fucking dotted line for a Marvel movie and you got to do anything for it, they're like, yeah, we're gonna set you up, dude. We're gonna set you up with a nutritionist, fucking workout plan. It's just kind of nuts that, like, as soon as you have the money to pay for it, you fucking don't have to. It's like, God, this is fucking ridiculous.
But it's also, I'm sure it, like, helps to have, like, all that time and stuff. Like, I mean, like...
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's like...
You're dedicated. This is your goal.
Yeah. Because it's not like, oh, well, I have to go to work 7 to 3 today and then go work out. It's like, no, I've got to work out for the next year.
Yeah.
Which I don't have to pay for that. And then, once I'm done with the working out, then I'm going to be in the movie, too. So it's just like, golly, man.
It's probably like doing that in like combat training and like all kinds of other stuff too. I don't know. Like,
but yeah, it's just like, it is funny seeing like before and after pictures. It's just, it's fucking like, he's not goofy looking, but just a fairly normal looking guy, comedian, and now he's fucking super shredded. I mean, I remember when people freaked out about Chris Pratt and stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing. I mean, Chris Evans and Hemsworth, they kind of always had it, but Pratt, I don't really know what Pratt, I feel like he just like kind of does that as a joke. He's almost like Mac from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He's like, yeah, I just do whatever I want. Sometimes I'll be fast, sometimes I'll be super fit.
What was that for? Was that for Guardians of the Galaxy?
Which he didn't even need to do that. I don't even know if he was shirtless in any of those movies, but it's just like, you want to look fit. And what's funny is, as fit as he looked, still looked shrimpy next to Chris Hemsworth. But Chris Hemsworth's a big fucking dude, man. Any of those fucking guys. I remember when Henry Cavill in that first Man of Steel movie walked out of the fucking water without a shirt on. I'm like, God damn, dude, that is fucking Superman. Like, that is fucking Superman. And it is kind of funny because, I mean, I'm sure Gal Gadot puts on a lot of work and stuff, but she kind of just looks the same, I mean, she looks great. She always looks great. God, I love Gal Gadot, man. I don't know how anyone could not love her. And that new fucking Wonder Woman movie looks great.
But I don't know. I just feel like Star-Lord, like, look at him. He's just kind of pudgy. Like, I think it'd be too obvious.
Yeah, you're probably right. That, and he's standing next to Zoe Saldana, and it's like, dude, you've got to look like you can somewhat attain Zoe Saldana, because Zoe Saldana is like, oh, man, she's an angel. You know what's funny? Because I may have pointed this out before on the podcast, so you can stop me, but... So she's in Avatar. Highest grossing movie ever. Then, it gets outgrossed by Avengers Endgame. That also has Zoe Saldana.
Is that the key?
Isn't that fucked up? Like, I was kind of thinking about... Not only that, I think I tweeted this at her, and I was kind of like, she's not going to fucking read it, but, like, she's fucking... Gamora. I was like, what the fuck is her name? I'm gonna be embarrassed. All the fucking nerds are like screaming or whatever. But it is kind of, I don't even know where I was going now that I remembered her name. I forgot my train of thought. But it's just kind of, I think I even pointed out, I was like, it's got to be Zoe Saldana, but she can't be herself, because she played a blue lady and she played a green lady. So I'm thinking, like, in her future, yellow or red, whichever way you want to go, like, that'll be the next highest grossing. Whoa, did you fart?
No, it was like a throat burp.
Okay, yeah, okay. You're like that reporter guy. I don't know his name, but I remember that was a big deal for a little while too.
I was trying to hold in my belch and it like went the other way.
That's fine, as long as it's not a burp. I mean, fart.
Fart.
Because I really thought, like, because you didn't have any reaction. I'm like, are you really trying to pretend that didn't happen? Because we're going to acknowledge a fart. This is not the podcast where we don't acknowledge a fart. What are we looking at on time? I probably should have a joke ready, but I don't really have a...
Oh, do you want to see this crazy kickboxing guy before we shut it down?
Oh, yeah. For the listeners at home, if you have... Oh, you know what's funny is I was about to say if you have Google, which we'll get back to that, but I kind of stream of consciousness talking over here. You know, I was thinking about this, and because sometimes I use a calculator and stuff on my phone, and then I kind of realized, like, I don't even need to do that because you can just Google the answer. Like, it is kind of like, Because what makes me mad is sometimes calculators, it's hard to type in, like, billions. Because I was trying to type in, like, 150 billion. It was all about fucking Bezos. It was like 150 billion divided by however much a Ferrari costs and see how many Ferraris he could buy. But sometimes it's hard to type into a calculator. And I realized, like, oh, I can just Google it. Google's a calculator.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know, it's probably dumb, but I just thought, like,
yeah,
no,
if you want to, like, translate,
you don't even need calculator.
convert money or whatever, like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of, I just never used Google for, like, calculating. But I was like, oh, yeah, I can. I should just do that instead whenever I got giant numbers and dumb questions on my mind. It looks like this young man has Nicole and Katie. And I don't think that is either one of his names. It must be his, I'm hoping it's daughters. Wife and daughter. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Do you know the name of this individual?
This is Marcin Rozalski.
Marcin Rozalski. This is a young man. Not that young. But he looks like a, this is kickboxing?
Yeah.
He's got a few tattoos. It looks like he was probably ahead of this whole SoundCloud face tat thing. God, it looks like he just has, it's not even barbed wire. It's just like thorny vines on his face.
Yeah.
But yeah, he looks like he's had a rough and tumble time growing up.
But I was surprised I never heard of this guy. Like, apparently he's some kind of former kickboxing champion, but I'm sure it's just like boxing. There's like a billion belts.
Yeah, there's so many organizations too that it's like.
But he has tattoos on the inside of his ears.
Oh, wow, yeah, tattoos on the inside of his ears. I mean, he's scary looking. I'll give him that. It's funny, we could start an organization right now and be like, oh, this guy's the world champ. It's like world champ. It's like, I don't know. Like whenever the XFL happens and like inevitably someone wins, it's like, yeah, we're the world champs. Yeah, the XFL.
But I also love how this dude has like every sponsor on his shorts.
Yeah, that is a lot of sponsors. I mean, that's crazy. That's
Even
good for him.
The long shorts. So
that kind of makes them all on there. That kind of makes me wonder how many fucking. Man, he's probably making a lot of money.
Yeah.
That is funny though. He has to get shorts down past his knees to get all of the sponsors onto them. That is funny. I mean, it's a kickboxing thing, and you see that guy walk in, you're like, oh yeah, that guy's gonna kick ass. He looks scary as fuck. But I'm gonna bet he probably doesn't win.
No, I believe he does win this fight. But it's a decision. He's like, I think he's one of those like journeyman, like grinder type characters. He just beats on you until you like give up or he wins.
How do you feel about the Covington Usman?
I don't know. I mean, I think the what was supposed to happen happened. But I don't know. And I don't think, like, even if they would have let it go, like, because he kept saying that Mark Goddard stopped it early or whatever. Actually, did you know that Mark Goddard was a legit MMA fighter?
I did not know that.
Yeah, I watched some footage of him the other day, too. Like, who's that guy? The Colossus? James, can't remember his last name.
Vic? No, it's not James Vic.
I can't remember. He's a big, giant British dude. He fought in, like, Pride and a bunch of other organizations. But Mark Goddard fought him. I think they fought at heavyweight.
Oh, wow. And I'm still blown away by the fact that, like, the Max Holloway Volkanovski fight, like, the fact that I think he did, I watched the post-fight press conference, and Alex said, I think he was, like, 211 or 14 pounds. He's 5'6".
Yeah.
And he has a longer reach than 5'11" Max Holloway, too, which is crazy. Like,
have you ever seen
long arms and
Volkanovski rugby era?
Rugby? I'm sure he's probably good at fucking rugby, too. But, yeah, congratulations to him. Congratulations to the great Amanda Nunes, who I was thrilled won. And the Usman Covington fight, like, yeah, it's fine. I think, I don't really know who's up next. I like how I watched the. He's a big dude.
I think he was like 240 pounds or something crazy like that.
Wow.
I'm not sure.
No, I don't think he was that, because he said in that post fight press conference, the heaviest he said he ever weighed was 214 or something like that.
Okay, maybe that's what it was, but yeah, he's like, how tall
But
is he? Like
I'm pretty
5'11" or something?
No, he's 5. I'm pretty sure he's 5'6", if I'm not mistaken.
But yeah, he's just like a fire plug of a human being.
Yeah.
Just like
I didn't even know. I mean, I know it sounds
and...
really dumb, but I didn't even know that like someone that short could get that big. Because I remember finding out that Ray Rice, who I'm pretty sure is 5'7", was like 210.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, what? Like, how can you be that short but like that big? Because at the time, I'm like, dude, that is like 80 to 90 more pounds than me.
Yeah.
And he's nothing but fucking muscle. I'm just like, I didn't even know that was fucking possible. Like, it blew my mind.
Just keep eating and working out.
Yeah. But the fact that, like, the fact that he's still playing rugby and he's like an athlete and everything. And it's just like, and now he's fighting at 145 pounds. I mean, that's insane. But yeah, I was happy he won. I mean, I like Max and everything, but I was happy he won. And all the other I did think it was funny, I love it whenever fighters do this. Like, somebody asked Usman about, like, you know, potential next opponents. And they asked him about Jorge Masvidal, and he said, who? I'm like, okay. Yeah, okay. Well, you might want to know who, buddy. Because it probably is like, yeah. What was weird to me is he's like, you know, Leon Edwards deserves a shot, which I agree. Leon Edwards does deserve a shot, but, like, you've already beat Leon Edwards. Like, how are you going to, like, talk shit on Jorge Masvidal? He's probably a bigger paycheck, probably a bigger pay-per-view points or whatever. And you're going to be like, no, man, I want this guy who you've already beat. Like, what kind of fucking pussy does that? Like, I don't know.
It's probably like holding out for Conor McGregor.
I didn't call you
like
a pussy.
Else.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, everyone's like, thank God he's at 170. I can get my paycheck too. But I don't know. I don't know how much longer Conor McGregor's got. I feel like his time is probably limited. Like, I feel like he's probably going to cash out.
Did you see Khabib wouldn't even like call him by his name when somebody asked him a question about the fight coming up?
Oh, well, that's not surprising.
Because he was like, what do you think about the Cerrone McGregor fight or whatever? The odds are this and this. And he was explaining what Cerrone had done in like his previous fights, and then he's like, the other guy hasn't won in a long time.
Hey, that is very true. That is very true. And I don't I mean, I'm not gonna literally bet, figuratively. I'll bet my words on it that Conor McGregor loses. I don't think he's gonna win. And if he does somehow beat Donald Cerrone, I don't know. Donald Cerrone's not top 5, I'm assuming.
At 155?
At 170.
At 170? No, I don't think so.
Like,
I think that's why. Well, that's
Conor McGregor's fucked if he stays at 170.
That's
dude.
the
There's
whole
really
like
no
confusing thing about it, because they said whoever wins this gets a title shot at 155.
That's ridiculous. That is not true. That is not fucking true.
Well, that's what Dana White said.
He fucking says a lot of things. That is not true. How does that make any sense whatsoever?
Well, a lot of people are mad. Like Justin Gaethje's just like, I'm just sitting here with my fucking thumb in my ass.
It's just not true. Just don't believe him, dude.
No,
it's not gonna happen. Like, how does that make? You know, obviously Conor McGregor just lost to Khabib, so that wouldn't make sense. But it would make sense in the fact that, like, rivalry, he makes a lot of money. But, like, if Donald Cerrone wins, you really think they're gonna give him?
No, they'll definitely give him the runaround, but
yeah, and not even a knock on him. Like, that doesn't even make sense, because, like, I'm pretty sure his last fight, he lost.
Yeah.
So how does that make any sense whatsoever?
Maybe they'll just do it for the sheer spectacle to build the legend of Khabib.
We had this discussion because I fucked it up last time.
Oh, was it
he had a bad eye thing, I think.
Was it Kukui?
Yes, he lost that. How does that?
Tony Ferguson.
Okay, well that makes sense. Tony Ferguson is supposed to fight Khabib, so I'm fine with that. I don't know who else after. Okay. I forgot that fight was scheduled because I was like, man, can that really possibly happen that he wins and then the next fight they schedule is Khabib? But I forgot that other one's happening. So. But that, yeah, it just doesn't make. It just doesn't.
There's still plenty of time for it not to happen.
Somebody else in the 155 division will do something to fucking light the world on fire. Could be Gaethje. I don't know.
Well, he's been doing really good.
Yeah, there's obviously he beat Poirier. I don't know. I haven't been keeping up. I don't know. I don't know a lot of names anymore.
Yeah. 155. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should. This is probably like
yeah, no,
we're going down a wormhole.
Trailing off. And I got no jokes. I got. I'm trying to think. No, I don't have any. I guess we can just roll out.
You want me to pull up a random?
Oh yeah. Something to. This is something for the little the water cooler at work, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm kind of afraid to click on these.
And everything that falls in between those two things. That's right.
Let's see what this does.
It'll give you one. Generating. He went to a dad joke generator for those listening. And right now it's generating and no. I know I've already heard this one before.
Does it give you? I guess it gives you the thing every time. That's kind of disappointing.
What's brown and sticky? A stick. Everyone's heard that one though. You got another one?
I'm thinking of reasons to go to Switzerland. The flag is a big plus.
Okay, that's pretty good.
All right, we won't drag this out any further. Thank you everybody for listening. Peace be with you. Have a good night or a good morning or whatever it is.
Whatever the case may be.